Happy Friday, everybody. This is going to be lesson 16.5. I mean 16.4. Okay, so let's start out with a joke. Why was the number 6 afraid of the number 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Get it? Instead of 7, 8, 9, it's like the number 7 actually ate the number 9. So that's why he was afraid. Ha ha ha. Okay, so we have completed our green packet. So there is a benchmark test that was delivered in your envelope, and it's actually a packet. So this is all review of everything you've learned so far, and it's really good for us teachers to know what you've learned from a few different units. So can you please do the benchmark test for review? And you can do this with somebody else. That is just fine if you work through these problems. My lesson today is going to be very short because of this. So you can continue when you are ready to move on with our math lesson of the day. Okay, so today's math goal is to see if you can graph lengths. You have learned to show data with a tally chart and bar graph. Today you will learn to show data on a line plot. So a line plot. What do we know about lines or a line? So I want you to think of that when we discuss what a line plot is. It is a visual that helps you organize data. So yesterday we worked on bar graphs, and that was a different visual that helps us do the same thing. So why don't you get out your Black Math workbook, and we will continue learning about what a line plot is. Okay, please open up to 16.4 in your book. It should look like this. Okay, so we're going to look at the table. And here is the table, as they like to say, and this shows the lengths of objects in inches. So we have a spoon measuring 5 inches. So you can see that there's two different columns here. There's one that lists the objects. There's a spoon, knife, and fork. And the other column lists the length in inches of each object. So the spoon is 5 inches. The knife is 8 inches. And the fork is 6 inches. So there's a little line plot right here. And we're going to use the data from this table to make a line plot. So our line plot is going to represent the number of inches. So this reminds me a lot of our number line that is in our room. But this one is not only going to show us our skip counting by 1, but it's going to represent the number of inches an object measures. So a spoon is 5 inches. So for above the 5, we're going to just put a little X above the 5, not on the number line, or not on the line plot, just above it to show that one item was 5 inches. Okay, now how about the knife? How many inches does that measure? Yes, 8 inches. So we're going to put an X above the 8. All right, fork. That is 6 inches. So I'm going to put an X above the 6. And the X doesn't represent, I see that there's 3 X's here. Okay, that just means that there's 3 objects. One measures 5, one measures 6, and one measures 8. Okay, so we just use X because it is easy to see and simple to make. Okay, so now we're moving on. Use a line plot to answer the questions. Which object is longest? Ooh. So my longest object, is it going to be towards the 0? Or am I going to go towards the 9? Which way, going to the left or to the right, would be larger? Where would I find my longest objects? Right, going this way. So the longest object is 8 inches long, which was the knife. So I'm going to write down knife. Is a fork longer than the knife or spoon? Ooh, let's see. The fork. The fork was at 6. So is the fork longer than the knife, which is at 8? So here's our knife. You don't have to do this, but you can. I'm just going to enable. This is the knife. This is the spoon. And our 6 inches is the fork. So is the fork longer than the knife or the spoon? Ooh, it is smaller than the knife, but larger than the spoon. So you can put spoon, and then how can you tell? How can you tell? Well, if I go back to my line plot, so I could write something like this. By looking at the line plot, the spoon is, the fork is 1 inch longer than the knife, than the spoon. Whoa. So you can write down something like mine. By looking at the line plot, the fork is 1 inch longer than the spoon. That's how we determined question number 2. Is the fork longer than the knife or the spoon? Okay, so I just answered my question for number 4. How much longer is the fork than the spoon? Okay, well, I can put down that the fork is 1 inch longer than the spoon. Okay, today I'm going to make it optional for you to do the backside. I know that you are probably tired from doing the benchmark test, so I will make this optional today because next week we can do a little review on this lesson and continue on with our graphing unit. Okay, just remember that a line plot is a visual that helps you organize data. Okay, so were you able to organize data on a line plot? Okay, so just remember that this is really important for us to do. You will use line plots a lot in math next year and the years after that. I even see line plots nowadays. For instance, I see a pH scale, which means that you can test the pH levels in your water, which is really interesting and good to know. So I often use this line plot in order to understand the pH level in water or maybe a different substance. All right, have a great day.